Hi, this is Phil with Perpetual Growth Group, and in this video I wanted to talk about the way that we compartmentalize our lives and how that's actually kind of a false statement, really. And let me explain this to you. And so if I go to work in the morning and my wife and I had a rough morning, or maybe even a rough night the night before and didn't get completely resolved, right? When I go to work, how is my day? And if that happens to you, your spouse, or your significant other, whatever, how is your day? I mean, it's not, no matter how hard you try, and you might go into work and just kind of put on a happy face and pretend like nothing's wrong, and maybe no one even notices, I don't know. But your day is not as good. It's rough, right? Like you don't feel good, especially if it was like a super rough, argument or something. You just feel like crap that day, and your work suffers. You're probably tired. You can't eat. Your whole body's just in a mess, and you just feel like garbage, right? And so, but because we don't talk about it, and we're like, well, we're at work, so I'm not going to bring it up. We're like, yeah, I'm compartmentalizing this part of my life into a different part. But in reality, like, you're still the same person, and you still had a bad day. And we do the same thing. Like if I have a rough day, if I, doing whatever, or when I had a rough day at work and I would come home, and my wife's there waiting, and I'm already pissed off because the boss did this, or a customer did this, whatever it was, then and maybe I try to shove it aside and not be rude to my wife. That would be the hope, right? Whether I did or didn't, but I'm still feeling that from work. Okay. And so you're not the same. Maybe I tuned out. Maybe I was just a little impatient, whatever it is. Ultimately, the nice thing would be to be able to just completely let it go. But in the end, I'm still the same person, okay? And the way I like to like a visualization that you can do to this is, imagine a vehicle, and with 4 tires, okay? Just a car. And so each wheel represents a part of your life, and you've got the spiritual, the mental, the physical, and the emotional, okay? And so if any of those tires is flat or low on air, like, the car's not going to be able to move. If one of them's flat, the car's not going anywhere very fast. And if 2 or 3 of them are flat, you're not going anywhere. And so my point is, you don't progress, you don't get things done in your life that you want done, you don't accomplish success on any level if any one of those tires really is flat, but especially if more than one is flat. So physically, like, if you don't ever exercise or do anything, and maybe, and I'm not here to judge, okay? This isn't a judgment call. But if you're overweight and you have a hard time getting around, or if you just don't take care of your diet or anything like that, like, it's going to affect every other aspect of your life. It just does, because your body needs fuel to work, and that's for your brain, that's for relationships. And so, I'm not here to say what kind of exercise is right. I like to lift weights and I do sprints on the weekend, but that's not for everyone. And I'm not saying that my way is the right way, but do something. Go for a walk. Find ways to be physically better tomorrow than you are today. Okay, and that might just be cleaning up your food. Maybe you stay skinny, right? But then you still eat garbage, and it does affect you on some level. You might think that you're getting away with it, but it's shortening your lifespan. It's killing your organs, and it affects your brain. Like, your digestive system is kind of your second brain, and that's because the chemical reactions that are going on there affects your thought. Okay, so physically, your mental state, right? So mentally, if you're off, if something's wrong, if you don't if you don't ever try to challenge yourself mentally, okay, then that tire is going to go flat. You've got to give it some food. And what that is that's going to be books. That's going to be, I mean, you can watch videos like this. I think if they're inspirational and helpful, and if you're learning something, videos are fine, right? Computer programs and stuff that teach you. And there's tons on the internet that you can read and learn about, okay? But you got to challenge yourself mentally, or else that tire goes flat, okay? Emotionally, This is one that guys don't want to talk about, right? I don't want to talk about being emotional either. I hate it. I like to think I'm not controlled by emotions, but that's a lie, because if I push my emotions down and don't deal with them, at some point it comes out, like a geyser, and I blow my top and, freak out on everyone. And so you have to emotionally take care of yourself, and that might involve, being vulnerable with someone and getting things out in the open, and maybe dealing with strong emotions that you have. That might have to do with like forgiveness of someone, things like that are affecting you on an emotional level. If that tire's flat, it's going to hold you back in the other areas of your life. Like, think about that. If you're emotionally a mess, are you able to learn something on a mental level and challenge yourself? You're probably going to have trouble. If you're an emotional mess, how does that affect your eating, right? How does that affect how you are at the gym if you go, or if you even feel like getting up off the couch and doing something? Instead, you might want to just sit there eating Funyuns and watching Dexter. Okay, so the last one is spiritual, and I'm not here to tell you what is right or wrong there either. What you decide is spiritually right for you is your deal. Okay, that can involve, doesn't have to, it can involve prayer. For some people, like meditation, connection with some kind of source, whether that's nature, whether that's God for you, whatever it is, right? But spiritually, you have some level of belief. Continue to develop that. Okay, that oneness with, what I'd like to call God, or your better self, your other self, source power. Okay, that is huge, because that's a connection that is a lot of your intuition, like your gut feelings about things. It helps with your decision making, and just keeps you grounded and at peace, right? So if that's not right, the others are going to suffer. So develop those four parts of you. Don't try to compartmentalize. You're the same person with those four tires. It's the same car with those four tires. One flat tire, and it's going to limit what you can do and how far you can go. So develop those. If that resonates with you, subscribe to my YouTube channel, please, and go to my website. There's a link, perpetualgrowthgroup.com, that just is information on how to start your own internet marketing business, if that's something you're interested in. It's a lot of free information. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.